Yeah, that's actually the first thing I have, anyways. Did you see that Di Maria is he's doing a few interviews. He did an interview with Marca.
Yeah.
And the headline they went with, and sometimes they go with sensational headlines that don't really reflect the article.
Yeah.
And it says, Di Maria, Aguero wants to kill himself at Barcelona. And you think, okay, that's probably taken out of context. There's no way that's
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain winger Angel Di Maria has admitted that Barcelona striker Sergio Aguero is feeling very down after the departure of Lionel Messi, who was a big reason behind him joining the Blaugrana this summer.
Yeah.
Last week has seen Messi's departure to Barcelona become official before he joined Di Maria at PSG, which leaves Aguero without one of his closest friends and clearly questioning his move to Barcelona. Koen wants to kill himself. What can you do? Di Maria said with a laugh during an interview with TYC Sports.
With a laugh.
Apart from all that, Messi leaving Barcelona, the worst thing is that he got injured again and will be out for several weeks. That's the saddest thing.
He has roasted him. He's done him there.
But he wasn't stopping there. He had more to say, Will. He had more to say.
Yeah?
Juventus star Cristiano Ronaldo is another player that was linked with the switch to PSG early this summer. With reports now claim that he could join on a free in 2022. And Di Maria thinks he will have regrets about not being able to play his football in the Parc des Princes. Cristiano must want to kill himself not being here, he noted.
No way.
Stop with the suicide talk, Di Maria. Jesus.
2 in 1 interview, back to back.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cahill and Will. The Premier League is back, so let's fucking get it over with. We'll talk about Arsenal in a second. We'll talk about Arsenal, well, maybe we will. We may talk about Arsenal, but to your boys first, Will. I mean, I hold my hands up. I kind of wrote them off. I kind of, early doors, I wrote them off, but they looked organised. I mean, the pace they had. I mean, for the players that the personnel, the people they're missing, the attack didn't seem to suffer at all. I mean, and people might, this because it's kind of going around a bit, like, oh, you're only on the bandwagon now that they're back and thing. But like, Will has been a fan of the Taliban for as long as I can remember. Like, all to the lean years, last few years, he's been supporting them, and he was texting me there on the weekend saying, they're going to take Kabul, and, usually be like, oh, go away with you, but like, I just know he's such a pure fan, so, great stuff for you over the weekend, Will, yeah? That's right, folks, new season, and Will hates women, and freedom, and the troops.
I was blindsided by that bit.
This is the form of the show. One carefully rehearsed bit by me, and then another hour of just bullshit and stabbing the dark.
You only need to start strong, though. The rest of it, who cares? That's what the stats tell us.
We know they, after 20 minutes, everyone shuts off. They probably have to do something work or whatever. Like, oh shit, I better turn off this terrible podcast, get back to work.
People listen for the cold opens. That's it.
No, I am a bit bitter because Arsenal, you called Arsenal having a mess up and you're right. I called United fourth place. And look, they're well on the way to fourth place. Let's not rule that out either. That looks like it might happen. They look really good, the United.
Yeah. It is hard to tell against Leeds, though, because they also beat Leeds.
Yeah.
They pumped Leeds last season because of the exact same thing. They just kept playing a really high line against really fast players that score goals. Like, it's not going to work.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing. Everyone was talking about the Leeds 6-2 last year. They beat them.
Yeah.
So 6-2, 5-1. And Leeds haven't lost any players. And United weren't playing their new players. So Leeds haven't really improved at all. They made the same mistakes again. I mean, Paul Pogba got 4 assists. And every time he got the ball and turned, it was like, there's a goal on here. Like, somebody's just like, this is the Leeds, like the murder ball, like really fit team, run around all day. Like maybe don't run around after.
Yeah,
Maybe stand
wait.
where the ball is
Yeah.
going to go.
I mean, there was one goal that Lindelof just hoofed, and it landed right on Bruno's boot, and he was through on goal. Like there was no one there.
And they were all like, I mean, this is why we loved Leeds last season, because they score great goals and they get great goals scored against them. Like all the goals were like, Jesus. Like Greenwood's one there.
Oh,
we got the ball at full pelt, and it was like, he has to go back. Like he can't surely get the ball out of his feet here, and just like arrowed it into like the only place it could have gone in, the far off the post and in.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. I said these boys come forward. What the fuck? You know, like.
I'm buzzing for Sancho and Varane to add to that team is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that is insane.
I mean, it's hard to see. Well, look, Lingard wasn't even on the squad.
Yeah.
So I don't know that puts him, but it'd be hard to see where Rashford comes back in that side. They were played so well, honestly.
Yeah, but I do. There's one thing that I noticed in that game that I think will help Rashford, and I think it was a good few games. Much less offsides this time with the new VAR rules. And Rashford was a player who was constantly caught offside last season. He was always right.
The new VAR rules in being that we're not using VAR sometimes.
Yeah, there's who cares anymore. We got in too much trouble last year.
They're using, I think the quote is common sense. Common sense. So if that kind of looks like a goal, then you know that was a it's easy. He was basically on, which is fine for open day of the season in August. You know, it mightn't have much bearing on where Leeds finish or where United finish, but it comes down to April, May, and it's like, oh no, we are going to use VAR this time. It's like, well, why this time? Well, no, I mean, if they win this game, it's pretty important. It's like all the games are important. It's just at the end of the season, so
it's an accumulation.
Yeah, and they're not even showing the replays anymore.
Yeah, it's
like
so
we don't even
weird.
get to see.
Yeah,
because
like it's
case,
really asking for some corrupt calls, or like at least calls that look corrupt. Because why wouldn't you show the replays?
Well, the thing is like they don't show the replays, which is fine, but everyone has this Sky reverse button.
Yeah.
So like people are taking screenshots now of this game and waiting for in a few months down the road. Yeah. When Liverpool get one taken offsides and they go, well, look, it's from Rashford versus Leeds. Or well, he wasn't playing. But you know what I mean? Like, something like that. So it's just putting the problem off for tomorrow. Like, people are going to have these in their back pocket and say, see, VAR is still broken. But, like, everyone's raving about VAR because they weren't using it, basically. It's like, well, then get rid of it. Just don't pretend like it's working now. It's like, very strange, man. Very, very strange. But, look, great result for United. They look very strong. You know, do you think I mean, it's early days. This is the thing. After every game, you have to make an absolute determination on, like, okay, so who's the best player in the Premier League this week? But this is what I was saying last week. That there's no reason that they can't challenge for a title with the players that they have. You know, like, say, Cavani, Rashford, Sancho. He came on, obviously, but didn't start. All to come into that team. And last year was a squad that got City and Chelsea so far. Yeah. So it looks good for United on the first week.
I will say, though, I think 2 seasons ago, they started the season by beating Chelsea 4-0 in Stamford Bridge. I think the year before that, they beat West Ham 4-0 in Old Trafford on the first day. Like, they're one to come out flying at the start and then start petering off as things go on. So I wouldn't look too much into it, especially against Leeds, who are known for just not bothering at the back sometimes.
Oh, God. And I suppose the fans had a big part to play too. Like, Old Trafford especially is one of those places that, well, there was the weird stuff where it was like, no, look, the seats are red and we were red. I can't see shit out there. Like they're in the fucking jungle in Vietnam. It's like, you know, it's not that big an issue, surely. But I mean, I think it's having the fans back on, like all the fans wearing red jerseys. But whatever, that's not the point.
It's interesting.
That was just one of those weird things. Like they couldn't put the finger on it. I think it was just not having 70,000, and it wasn't full capacity. But like if you have a full Old Trafford, you know, people talk about that. It was a 7-2 Aston Villa beat Liverpool.
7.
And it was like with the crowd there, like it changes something.
Yeah,
maybe not the results, but it probably doesn't end 7-2.
Yeah.
Like when that first goal goes in, Old Trafford is rocking. I know they equalised there. Leeds did. But like say the fans aren't there to kind of get the team going again, and it's 1-1.
Yeah.
Then the United players kind of get, oh shit, maybe we should defend a bit more because they can score on us. You know, rather than if they have the whole crowd behind you. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was great to see them back. Really.
Yeah.
You kind of thought, I didn't really miss them, but no, we did miss them, didn't we?
I thought it was very smart to do the Varane unveiling at the start of the game as well, like have him come out on the pitch holding his jersey. Because that is just immediately going to get people all fired up. Very wrestling move. A very like lights out, lights on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Varane.
Yeah. Rather than like, you know, say he doesn't come out to anybody because there's no crowd, and then he maybe comes on at halftime next week.
Yeah.
And maybe they draw. You know, it's like, this Varane lad, he's a cod.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, it was cool to see the place. It was Bruno's first game with a pretty much full Old Trafford, I think, and he scored a hat-trick immediately. And like 2 screamers and 1 deflection, I think, so he was unreal as well.
Did I see that Instagram that he as if he'd planned the whole thing? Was that where he's like, I was waiting for the crowd to come back to score my first hat-trick?
Yeah,
like,
he did.
Right, there's no way that you can't take credit for that, and if you did, that's very unprofessional.
Yeah, you should be scoring them
last year.
You should be scoring them every week if it's that easy for you.
I mean, they came second last year. You said you were saving the hat tricks. What are you talking about? This game didn't score in, pal.
I don't know if you saw Mr. Souness talking about Pogba after the game. Unbelievable.
I didn't. Well, I did see a lot of fallout of it, but like, it's too early in the season for that kind of stuff, man. For me, anyways. I can't. You know, like you're saying, we're saying we have to make absolute kind of. Oh, this is what he is now the best player in the Premier League. You know, it's just like that's what they have to do on Sky every week.
He's got to fill time.
He's got to fill time with like these hot takes. I don't care. Like it means nothing now. I'll come back in maybe 4 weeks for the hot takes, but like it just, you know, what was he saying, anyways?
He said Greenwood was the best player on the pitch, and Mika Richards was laughing, and he was like, Pogba got 4 assists, man. And Souness said, yeah, but you expect that from him.
Yeah. Well, he got 1 more assist than he did the entirety of last season.
Yeah. What's the fuck? That also, when I saw that,
sneaking in Saturday of the week there, folks. Sneaking in there.
When I saw that,
first one of the season. You're welcome.
Most people were like, "Oh, that's unreal." I was like, "He only got 3 assists last season. Is that not his thing?
Yeah,
like trying to get those."
Yeah, like you say, if you're left unmarked in the middle of the pitch, a lot easier.
Yeah. He had time to turn, look, ping.
Yeah, and the talk kind of continues. About him going to PSG or him going to Madrid. I mean, the Madrid thing, I would give up on that one if I were you. Yeah. PSG seem to have, they think they're good. I think PSG are good, you know, in terms of attacking players. So I don't know where he thinks he's going to go or where Mino Raiola thinks he's going to go. Yeah. Like, it's always Mino Raiola. It's never Pogba who says these things, which is kind of like a nice little separation. Like, oh, it's not me, it's my agent.
Yeah.
I don't know what I honestly don't know what Pogba wants. I don't know if he thinks I'm going to stay, because he is at the same age as Harry Kane. So he's at that point now where it's like I have 3 or 4 prime years left. Is it going to be at United? Is it going to be somewhere else? So, you know, it's hard to know. What do you think? Do you think he's still kind of looking for a move that comes up, or is he, finally going to?
Yeah, it seems like he is. It seems like he's angling for one, but. Now it's like, well, why are you? Because I got it the last few years where, like, United weren't recruiting well. They're like, they were underperforming, and he was underperforming. Yeah. But now it's like, they have a savage team. You're playing well. You're fucking getting 4 assists in a game because anywhere you kick the ball, someone gets it and scores. It doesn't matter where you are. Why would you want to leave now? It seems like he's kind of trapped now into being like, oh, fuck, I've already got this ball rolling. Now I can't go back on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I did see that Mika Richards was having a go at Souness for having a go at Pogba and not having a go at Kane.
Yeah.
But I suppose that brings on to the City game, does it? That was probably the biggest shock of the weekend, honestly.
Yeah. But apparently that's since Pep called City the Harry Kane team. I don't think he's ever beaten Spurs, and I think Kane has not played in any of the games. I think Kane played in 1 of the 4 games.
Yeah, well, that is the story. The genius of Charlie Kane strikes again, and I think he showed up for training in the meantime, but wasn't in the squad for this.
Yeah.
It's since been announced he's in the squad for the Europa Conference League playoff.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they need him for that one. They need him there. But they didn't need him against City. As you say, they haven't beaten Tottenham since the Harry Kane team comment, which, I mean, that was just Pep being, for some reason, a bollocks. Like, that wasn't his English. I mean, he speaks perfect English, really.
Well, he was at it again this week. I'll actually get the quote up because they had he did something on the first day that it seemed like he did on purpose. So Klopp was saying like, it's a bit hard to compete with teams like City, who's just like, money's not an option. They can just spend 100 million, whatever. Which is like fair enough. Liverpool spend a lot as well, but like, I don't think there's anyone arguing with that. But Pep took it as a personal attack, and he said,
"No, I'm not judging the other clubs what they do. So the other clubs do what they believe. I don't know reality. Some owners, they want to benefit. Our owners, they want to benefits. So they want to reinvest in the team. So I put the same. So we invest what we can invest. So I said the same. Last year, we could spend £100 million for Jack Grealish because we sell for £60 million. Then at the end, we spend 40 million. That is the reality that the club said to me. So what happened in the future, I don't know what's going to happen. And at the end, if we don't do, we have limits for the financial fair play. And if they are not agree, they can go to the court, make a statement, and we will defend. And so financial fair play is a vote for us, and we follow absolutely the rules. What happened, and at the end we're innocent was at 2014, I think so. We are at 2021, 22. And every season we pass the control, the financial fair play for everyone. But I say the same. There are owners, they want the benefit for themselves. And our club, they don't want to lose money, of course. And when they have spent, we can do it. So, and a few years ago, another clubs always spend a lot of money with several players. So this is the reality.
But then, when City played Spurs, they started the most expensive team in the history of football with an average price of 50 million per player. And I think it was 900 million overall or something mental was in like the whole squad. So to see that,
how much did City sell Jack Harrison for? It made 60 million.
That's what
who else did they sell? Because Eric Garcia was a free to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Who else did they sell for 60 million?
No idea. I think he's bluffing.
60 million fucking rupees, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I loved seeing the most expensive team in football. Normally that doesn't bother me, the whole like City spend a lot and win the league. But when you're outright coming out being like, no, we're just, we've nice owners, blah, blah, blah. Then you have the most expensive team in football. And the best player on the other team is actively not playing because he wants to go to you because they're going to buy him for loads of money. And then you fucking lose. It's just, chef's kiss.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Like, I mean, you know how I love a good conspiracy theory, Will.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Pep, right, you probably want Harry Kane. I'd imagine you want Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's talked about a bit. Hard to tell sometimes, but assuming he wants to, this is the thing with conspiracy theories. Assuming this.
Yeah.
Assuming Pep wants Harry Kane, you want to lose that game to show that, oh, well, look.
Yeah.
I need Harry Kane. We can't even beat the team that he's not playing on.
Yeah.
So that's why instead of playing Jesus of fun to pay Ferran Torres, who was underwhelming at best at the Euros and not a centre forward.
Yeah.
Don't play De Bruyne. Play Jack Grealish in his first game. I know he came on in the Community Shield, but like, and is De Bruyne still injured or still tired after the Euros? Or
wasn't he playing?
Like, I just seem like, why is he playing that team? Yeah. No John Stones either.
Mm.
I just thought like, and they were good for the first 15 minutes, but after that, then they kind of like died a bit, gave up a bit.
Yeah.
Tottenham kind of overran them on the counter. It was like, I just thought like it was a weird way. And like, same as we were saying about the first game with United, like this game probably won't determine where they finish. So do you think maybe Pep was like purposely put a weaker side and saying, "Oh, what can I do with only the players I have?
We can't compete." I like the idea that is what he was doing, but in putting out a weaker side, he put out the most expensive team in the history of football.
Yeah, exactly. That is their weaker side. That is the BT. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was strange, like, because Tottenham had a decent team out. Dele Alli, Son. You had the back. I don't want to pronounce the name wrong now. Tanganga. Man, a menace, an absolute menace. How was he not sent off? He wasn't even booked.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but he was apparently Jose Mourinho's favourite player in his stint there. I wonder why.
Really?
Yeah,
that's strange. Well, Doherty came on for him, but I couldn't believe that. Like, the ref kept going over them, warning them. It was like, I don't know. I just, it seemed like he was definitely owed a one yellow. Every time he looked, the City player was hitting the ground. He was very nearby the instant. But they had, Højlberg in the middle, our Danish friend from the Euros.
Yep.
He continued that form in. But even still, I think this City team should have been beating that Tottenham side, but they didn't really seem to have it in them without Harry Kane. Yeah. And I wonder, is that a tactic from Pep to say, look, we're an incomplete jigsaw here. Yeah. We need one more piece.
And like, I wouldn't rule it out from the man who is known for like making crazy decisions, like overthinking everything. He could definitely overthink a transfer too, like trying to get someone in. I wouldn't rule that out at all.
And of course, as well, I said City would win the league. I mean, I initially said Chelsea, but then you said Chelsea, so I want to be different, so I said City. And they've gone and they've lost to Tottenham the first day. I also said Tottenham were, nowhere near top four either. So, which I still actually think, honestly, looking at that team, if that's the best they can put out,
I mean,
they'll win against City, but
they did kind of like they just countered every few times, which I've seen it with United over the last 2 seasons, where it's good when it works, but when a team sits back, what are you going to do? Like,
yeah. And you take all the goal assists away that Harry Kane may do if he leaves. Yeah. I mean, he's not in the squad. They lose. I mean, are Tottenham not thinking we don't need him, or are they thinking?
Well, I don't know if you heard the fans at the end of the game, the full stadium singing, "Are you watching Harry Kane?" So I think they're over him. I think Charlie Kane is. Charlie Kane's won in the end.
He's done it again.
He's won. Because now they're like, sell him, who cares?
Yeah, fuck. I mean, I think I was talking, we were talking about this last week. I was talking to this about someone else as well, that I think it does seem like a significant point in Tottenham's history as a club. Yeah. And that sounds a bit dramatic, but like, it is, to bring it back to an Arsenal United thing, as we like to do on the show, it's like when Van Persie went to United. Yeah. It was like, and that was Wenger being gone mad at power. Yeah. Because he was like, look, Van Persie's a friend of mine, I think it'd be nice for him to go and win a title. It's like, you work for Arsenal, man. This isn't your club. Like, you can't just give your pals fucking, it'd be nice for him to win a medal, though. It'd be nice for Arsenal to win a medal. And this is who you work for. But that kind of signified that, like, you're a selling club now. You're not competing with United. Because you don't give your best player to the team you're competing with. Yep. So, like, for Aston Villa even, like, they've done very well the last while. They've invested a lot of money, but they are currently a selling club, and no one can dispute that. But if they continue on where they want to be in 5 or 6 years, the next time they have a Grealish, they, in their minds, they're thinking, no, that player should be saying, I have as much chance of winning with Villa than I do with somewhere else. I'm going to stay here because we're actually competing. Yeah. So if Tottenham say, let their best player go, that's a sign that says, oh yeah, we don't compete with City. Yeah. We sell to them. Yep.
Well, it's like what Leicester. Leicester were like that for a while until really the Maguire transfer to United, where they were like, give us fucking 90 million for him or he's not going. Then they did. And since then, Leicester don't sell anyone now. And people come in for all their players. No. And they're just like saying no, they don't need to sell anyone anymore.
Yeah, it was that. I think the Chilwell one was the last one, I think. Like, say last year they had a decent season. Maddison hasn't gone anywhere. Barnes hasn't gone anywhere. Ndidi, Tielemans, they're all still there. Mm-hmm. So I think, that's probably a better example. Is the Leicester one where they, that is where sometimes that's where you're at. You're a selling club and you're trying to get that competing spot. 3 years ago, Tottenham were in the Champions League final. They came second in the league for you for that. So this is like, you're going backwards. Like you got there and you couldn't stay there, which is, I mean, I was thinking about this, the Harry Kane, the 6-year contract that we're laughing about. It's like, that's just bad business sense. But when you think back to 2018, when they had, like, say, Dele Alli and Son and the boys at the back there, Alderweireld and Vertonghen, it's like, in his mind, like, he was the best player. So in his mind, I'd say, if he thought, if I sign a 6-year contract and says, I'm staying here, lads. So if you want to go somewhere else, you can, but they won't have a better striker than me.
Yeah.
So that would kind of signify that I'm here for the long haul. And to be fair, like, Alderweireld and Vertonghen are now gone, but because they got old and got a bit shit. Yeah. Dele Alli had the Mourinho effect. Nothing you do with that, Harry. That's not your
These
fault.
Things happen.
Son has been here the whole time.
Yeah.
With Harry Kane scoring goals. It's just, when they lose players like Vertonghen and Alderweireld, they haven't brought in the same quality. They haven't improved around them. So now, 3 years on, Harry Kane's thinking, well, that didn't really work. I stayed and things didn't get much better.
Yeah.
So I can see where he's coming from with the 6-year contract now a little bit more. But you did pick a side. What you should have done is, after the World Cup and the Champions League final appearance, you should have said, well, I'll sign 1 more year, 2 more years maybe, see what Tottenham do, see if they can strengthen. He did the leadership thing and said, no, I'm going to set out the stall and say, I'm staying. We are a big club, blah, blah. And it hasn't worked out. And you don't get repaid for that loyalty when it comes to billionaires, unfortunately.
Yeah. And even the fans immediately are like, are you watching Harry Kane? Fuck off.
Yeah. I mean, I think we talk about this every episode, but, like, do you think it's going to go through now? I mean, I don't know where it's good. Everything changes all the time. I
think it will. I think there's too much smoke for there not to be a fire. Like, him not playing in that game, that's a big one. Like, because I would imagine that's the club not playing him rather than him not wanting to play in a game in the Premier League. He's going to want to score goals no matter what. Like, so I think that's more Spurs maybe not wanting to get injured or something like that. Like,
yeah, who knows? Who knows, man? I always judge it by, oh, well, you can't go back after that. Yeah. Like, you don't play against the reigning champions who you want to join.
Yeah.
The club that has everything, you want to join them. You want to go on the winning team.
Yeah.
You're losing in the playground and you join the winning team. That's who you are. And then they say, actually, we don't want you.
An unbelievable move from Spurs if it was Spurs' choice not to play him, especially like when they got the win. They're in total control of this now, really. Like, they can set any price.
The other, well, I mean, look, your pick for the Premier League, Chelsea, got off to a big win against Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace.
So weird seeing him on the sideline. It looked like something that would happen in like a FIFA career mode or something. It's just like, that doesn't look right. It just looked bizarre seeing him.
Yeah. Now, again, it's the same for the top team, same for the kind of the Crystal Palace of this world. Like, it's not to be on end all to lose to a top side and then the first day, but I wasn't overly impressed by them either.
Yeah.
Zaha, another one, that all that talk totally cooled. I think he has a big contract as well.
Yeah.
He just kind of said, you know what? I'm here now.
It's never happening,
Yeah. Chelsea looked very strong. Basically the same team they had last year without Lukaku still to come in. So it's up for Timo Werner to knock in a hat-trick against Crystal Palace and stake his claim, which he did not do.
No.
Because I don't think he can.
Is he actually bad?
You know what? I've never seen him play for Leipzig, but I heard he was really good. But has anybody actually ever seen him score a goal? That's the question. He's in a weird situation where everyone knows he's lightning fast and strong and like the man to mark. So he never gets away with like, oh, well, he won't score. Like they think, we better mark him in case he scores, and he never scores. And then he gets chances that he should. He has the worst of both worlds. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's not in form, but he's heavily marked. It's just,
he might get lucky if they play him and Lukaku at the same time. That now defenders will probably be like, who cares about Werner? Get on Lukaku. We know what he can do. So he might get a bit of a freer aid now.
That's true. Like, he's kind of one of the few constants, because Havertz didn't start. Pulisic did. Mount didn't start. You know, they're very interchangeable, all those 5'8" attacking midfielders where they have.
Short white lads with that haircut.
Yeah. Lightning fast, buzzing around doing a hooch mark. But there's Werner. I can see him. You know, look at that sad face.
Yeah, he's running the wrong way.
So he kind of gets all the attention. Which I guess it works to an extent. I mean, you spend that much money on him, you like him to score, you know, 1 or 2 more goals. Yeah. But I think Lukaku will do that plus score goals. So I think his time might be up. Which would be sad for the show, really. We'll lose a segment every week talking about Timo Werner.
We will gain a segment in probably us, because long-term listeners, the legacy fans, will know we've had taken a few shots at Lukaku in our time. So now I would imagine he's going to very quickly embarrass us week to week by banging in goals for Chelsea.
Well, look, we were talking about Lukaku because we'd watched the Inter Milan days, you know. You said on the show, I think, that he had that dietary issue that they discovered in Inter Milan, which is why he was so hefty over here. Yeah, you know, he slimmed down now and all that stuff, and he credits a lot of his attacking improvement to Conte as well. Yeah. So I mean, it is hard to think, oh, well, that's Lukaku that we know, but it isn't. It is a different player. Yeah. You know, it's a much improved player. So yeah, Chelsea look really good. You add him to the team. Also, I had to go to centre backs. I said, I think this some Shabalova fella's in there, and he's been there for years. It's actually his younger brother.
Oh, really?
And that was his debut. So they said that, like, oh, Shabalova scores on his debut. I was like, no way is that his debut. He's definitely played at some games. He's been at Vitesse Arnhem for like 6 years as well. This isn't, you know, but that was Nathan Shabalova, who plays for Watford now. This is Trevor Shabalova.
I see.
Played centre back, scored a screamer. Do that thing where the crowd screams shoot, and he does, and he scores. I mean, that's imagine that your first Chelsea game back. And I'm like, yes, it's like a dream.
I wonder now though, will it be like, I don't know if you remember when Danny Rose did that for Spurs, and then I think for the rest of the season he kept taking long shots and just rifling them into the stands because he was like, it worked the first time.
Yeah. Hopefully not for Chelsea's sake, because this. I mean, look, they're playing the back three, with Rudiger and Azpilicueta. It's still fairly solid. It's just, you know, I haven't seen Rudiger at the Euros. You know that's the only way he can play. So they had to change. You had to do something differently. Yeah, you know, you'd rather Van Dijk or you know, Maguire or Varane. So, you know, you'd want someone kind of. You can play anywhere. I don't know. I'm just, you know, I'm wrong again about Chelsea. So, but first day, we'll see. They are very impressive.
Yeah.
I think that's the only big transfer they had, though, was Lukaku. Usually they have 1 or 2 more. They didn't anyone else, did they?
It seemed like at the start they were going all in for Declan Rice and going all in for loads of people. But yeah, it seems like it's just Lukaku. Yeah. But then again, like, it's 120 million, so it's fair enough. Like, that's a full budget, I would imagine, in a summer for most clubs.
Yeah. I wonder though, did they fuck Inter?
Yeah.
Like, we'll pay you £100 a day for however long it takes.
Yeah.
And they had to just take it because, like, oh, thank you for the money.
It doesn't really matter. Even if they paid it all at once, don't they have to just give that money to Man United still?
Well, I think they paid out so Man United. I think like maybe 50% of it, maybe. I just pulled it out of my arse, but like, I don't think it's the whole. I think it's you know, robbing Peter to play Paul, but like, it's some money will definitely go to United eventually, whenever they get the money off Chelsea. I mean, the money isn't the same thing to them. Yeah. Money is just like it's a kind of a figment, really. It's not real. It's not cash in hand stuff to deal with. The money will get there eventually to these financial institutions. But you pray for Inter. Chelsea looks strong, and I think with Lukaku coming in, it could be a good shout for the title. I think City will be back though as well. I think City, Chelsea, United maybe. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I don't see it.
Solskjær enough.
I don't see it either. Yeah.
But you never know.
I mean, they have good enough players to do it despite him. Like, I think now.
Yeah,
but it's just like you can't rely on that all the time.
It's just, I suppose, injuries.
Yeah,
and how do you manage that?
Yeah,
and that's a skill in itself.
Well, I noticed in the first game he at what were they, like 5-1 up at the end of the game. He played Bruno Fernandes for the last 15 minutes and took off like Greenwood and stuff. I was like, would you not surely take him off now, wrap him up, and fucking give Van de Beek or one of those boys a game, or like anyone? I thought that was weird, and I was like, that is not an encouraging sign, because he hasn't learned anything from running Rashford into the ground. Like,
that's. Given the benefit of the doubt, say maybe first day back to fans, let them lap it up.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't think that's. I think Solskjaer was like, "This is great. I guess we'll just keep going this team." That's the sense I get. But speaking of injuries and load management, the other team that we said would be a top 4, possibly winners of the title, Liverpool, also got off to a winning start against their favourite team, Norwich. I mean, when Norwich got the victors and then the first game was like, oh no, why them? They always hammer the fuck on Norwich. I don't know why.
It's just because Norwich aren't very good usually, and they're very good all the time. So they just fucking pump them.
But this is the Norwich who won the league last year. Surely it's a different kind of mentality.
It always is.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. They'll be back down again next season. It's just how they are, I think.
Salah got a great goal. A bonus stat of the week. First player to score on the opening day of the season, 4 seasons in a row. Damn, for all those fancy managers out there, that's a cert, that is.
Yeah, it sure was.
But I think there's still this kind of sense of like, oh yeah, but it's the same team. Do they have it in them? As if they're all in their late 30s. You know what I mean? Like, once again, Salah is at the ripe old age of 28. I'm pretty sure the same age as me.
The prime, the best year to be a footballer by most accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I know there is cases like Rashford who get run into the ground and that, and have injuries, but Salah has looked as good as ever. And Mane, people say, "Oh, Mane has such a terrible season." I think he still was in double figures for goals and assists in all the competitions. He wasn't obviously as electric in games, but like the team looked good. Van Dijk looked a bit rusty, as you'd imagine.
Yeah.
But I mean, that'll come. And that's what Robertson to come back into the side. Did Henderson play? I don't think Henderson played actually.
Yeah, he was subbed on.
Come back as well.
I think he was.
Yeah, he didn't start. Wijnaldum obviously is a big loss because again, it's about the squad as much as anything else. Your starting 11 is one thing, but you need kind of players to fill out the squad. But they looked very strong. For me, you got on the score sheet as well, so I think it's probably not based on his stats, but it feels like when he scores at the start, he can like, oh yeah, I'm going to score this year.
Yeah.
If he goes on like a barn run, even if he scores 1 or 2, it's like, nah, that's not feeling no. So
maybe next
if
year.
He gets another. Yeah, I'll try again next year, but no, not this year, boys. No. Who knows? Who would you think on the first day of those 4 teams? Who you most impressed with?
Probably United, but again, like I can't tell from they were playing. I think the worst team or the worst set up team that day. So I don't know. I thought Liverpool were really good. I thought Salah looked unreal. He was involved in everything, like for the whole game, pretty much. And like I said, that's missing Henderson still. So yeah, I think probably Liverpool. Like overall, taking everything into account, but United were definitely the best to watch. Like they're definitely the most fun to watch.
Yeah. Then we suppose we had I guess we involved Tottenham in this lower echelon of Premier League teams, and they won. And that was a bit of a shock result. This wasn't as much a shock result. Brentford at home on the first day against Arsenal.
Yeah, I said it had it written all over it.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, we said Arsenal don't have, they certainly don't have the team to compete for the title, and probably not even top 4 either.
Yeah.
Now you take that team and you take out their 2 strikers, who fell to illness, and we saw this last year. It was like Arsenal said, I think he has a bit of a cough. And he goes, I have malaria. I almost died. So it's illness. I haven't looked up on it again. I don't know if it's serious. Like, this is the thing with Arsenal. It could be as serious as a life-threatening illness, or it could be a cry for help, or it could be trying to angle a way out of the club. You never know.
Yep.
You never know. But they weren't there. They had a weak enough side out, really. I know it's kind of like, Arsenal are this great club. But like, Arsenal are Patrick Vieira on the sideline for Crystal Palace. That's what you're thinking of. Look at him now. That doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Like, Smith Rowe was pretty good, but no one up front really to kind of lay it off to. Tierney was okay as well, and Saka was decent when he came on. I don't know what that is. Like, are we still talking about the penalty? Are we still?
Well, before the Man City Spurs game, City fans were singing about Sancho and Rashford letting the country down. They're playing Tottenham.
What?
Yeah. Leeds fans were as well. It's like a new chant. But like, I got the Leeds one. You're playing United that day. You're in their stadium.
Yeah.
But like, why are City? They're playing Spurs.
It's a pretty edgy chant, let's be honest. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Because like, it's all like, that's... You know what it is now? This might get cut, but you know what it is? It's like gay pride, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, for years, being gay or your sexual orientation was like a shame.
Yeah.
So you have to go the opposite and say, no, you should be proud of it, and you should shout from the rooftops. But when you take a step back, it's like, well, if it's normal, you shouldn't have to make a song and dance of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this thing, when they miss a penalty, usually it's this kind of like, you let the country down, you're scum, you're fucking this. So they went the other end, and they're like, no, we all love you so much. We're actually proud of you for missing. It's like, well, no, it should just be like a penalty, and like, he missed it, so move on. And I saw a video there of like Saka. Like, well, my point is, my comparison to gay pride, that it's a good thing. It comes from a good place. But like, we should ideally get to a point where you shouldn't even have to make an effort to stop the bad people. It should just be a natural thing. But like, if that's why Saka didn't come on, that's killer. That is killer, because he is one of the best players Arsenal have.
Yeah,
I know it's only 19, but still, you need players like that. And Brentford, you knew this was going to be huge for them. They were going to come in and they were going to want to, really have a go at Arsenal. And Arsenal are just not that team. They're just...
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
They were never going to be up for this. They're never going to be like, we can't... We have to set down a marker for all the other Premier League teams. Doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
They're like, we'll go out and we'll do our best and we'll play their way. It's like, you don't actually have two lads. Well, I guess we won't change anything then. We'll just continue playing, knowing that we have to try harder, but not trying harder, because we'll just trust the system. Like, it's just, I don't know. It feels like it's an Arsenal thing to be like, I don't know. They had to fucking try really hard to win that game, and you just knew they weren't going to do that. Yeah. The worst players were just like not going to be putting up to those Brentford lads.
Yeah, I would be worried seeing how many balls went over Ben White's head. Just every cross that came in, the long throw straight over his head.
Yeah.
That was a worry. Because, that's what you do from now on. You just cross it. He's short. He played beside two giants at Brighton that did that for him while he ran up the pitch. In hindsight, why did they sign him? He doesn't play there. Like, he's not the player they needed. They needed the big lad. They should have signed Duffy or Dunk.
Well, they needed him against Brentford for sure. Like I say, Duffy and Dunk. And hey, for every cloud, silver lining, Duffy back in the good books of Brighton. He's back in there. I thought he was done. I think he had some quotes in the week saying that he thought his Premier League days were done. Yeah. He got put up to Celtic, had a terrible time with Celtic, and he's back there playing for Brighton. The dream team back again, just fucking knocking balls away. And Arsenal could have done with Duffy or Dunk against Brighton. But if you're... it's kind of disrespectful to say a smaller team. It's like, look where Arsenal finished last season, look at their performance there last day. But like, long balls on Ben White. See what happens. Yep. He's not going to be heading them away. He wants to play on the ground. Like, you can't all be Van Dijk and be 6'4" and good in the air and good to the ground and fast and strong. But like,
you pair him,
centre back. Sure, that's one of the basics.
It's just like he's a specialised thing. Like, he would play in a tree, or like he's more a midfielder who'll drop back and then bring the ball forward. But it's literally like Arsenal just saw his name on a team sheet or like centre back. Perfect. It's like they never watched them play, or like they didn't take into account how they play at all.
I mean, hopefully, other teams won't be as straightforward as that. But you think of Ryan's unveiling, not even having to play and winning, and then Ben White's straight into the cauldron there, the Brentford long balls.
I mean,
Jamie Carragher fucking dogging you on Sky Sports. Man. Like, I mean, what a fucking weekend.
I thought Carragher was enjoying it a bit too much. He's like, same Arsenal, same story every year, blah, blah, blah. It's like, calm down, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that big a deal.
Well, it's definitely a Sky Sports thing, because like they know you start talking about Arsenal, you have them all up in arms over it.
Yeah.
I think that's probably fading. I think Arsenal's spirit is getting broken. So I mean, they're going to squeeze this lemon dry, but eventually people just stop responding to that, because like, are you even surprised? You called it,
after a while,
based on having done no research on Brentford or Arsenal, and Arsenal leaves that game, and you're right, because that
It's the thing
so
as well.
knows,
we always
man.
talk about it becomes a point of Sky Sports are punching down. If like Arsenal are consistently at that level, and you're still like they're not good enough, it's like everyone knows that's the problem. It's not like they should be better. Like no, this is the players they have. Like they need to step it up.
And I did see a few Arteta out tweets.
Never going to happen. He's there for life.
Gathering pace. Conte is the one people are saying, someone who can actually organise a defence. That's if he's available.
The guy who turned down Spurs because they wouldn't let him spend money. There's no chance he goes
this is this.
Like
if you want to get some of that, you have to say, well, why did he leave Inter? Because they said we have to sell players, we can't spend money. So Arsenal would have to come and say, I mean, look, it's what 2 weeks left to the transfer window?
Yeah.
He's not coming in now.
No.
Unless you say this year, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like that will not be talked about when it comes to contract extensions. This is just, we need you in here to try and organise what you have. And then, next summer we'll back you 100%. But I don't know. I don't know if Conte would bother, because it'd be a year of like, this guy was meant to bring the team better. They've actually gotten worse, and having to do interviews, and you just know what would happen. Yeah. So I think if they approached him at the start of the season or at the start of the transfer window, maybe. But we had lost to Brentford then, so why would you do that?
Will they?
I don't know.
Do you think they'll do any panic buy-in now after that game?
I don't know. I was thinking that as well, that like there's a few ones that were kind of talked about, like half transfers, like Ruben Neves and James Maddison and Tammy Abraham.
He's gone to Roma
loosely
today now.
Yeah, weird. And he's going now. Now that's being. This is my point. It's that like any of those half ones thinking, well, maybe Arsenal. Now it's like, oh, well, now I think I might go to Roma. Actually, Now I don't know if that's even related, but I did see Tammy Abraham linked, and then the next day he's like, yeah, he's done a medical there, because you look at Arsenal's team even if I was a panic buy, you're thinking, ooh, like there's not much to work with there.
Yeah.
They have been Champions League for a while. Like this thing, if you're Ruben Neves and you want to leave Wolves, presumably for Champions League football, you look at Arsenal and go, they weren't Champions League last year, they won't be this year. Will it be next year? The year after? It's hard to tell these things at the best times, but like if you had to guess, you'd say, I think he's got 24, 22, 24.
Yeah.
Now is the time to get into a side that, like, if he is good enough, now is to leave Wolves, you don't want to be leaving for something a bit more guaranteed, if that's why you're leaving. So
yeah.
And Maddison, I mean, forget about it. That's a step down.
Not a chance.
Maybe slightly more money, but I mean, he could probably angle more money out of Leicester easier than getting the Champions League with Arsenal. Let's be honest.
But I mean, like you're saying, it'd be weird to leave Leicester, who won easily on the first day, to go to the team who lost to newly promoted Brentford. Like, that'd just be such an obvious. Like, why would you do that? Why would you go down the league? Not in an insulting way, but like, why would you? Like, that's bad for your future career if you have a better chance of doing that.
This is it. Like, they are. That's why you'd move for more money and more kind of chance of winning stuff. Yeah. And Arsenal don't really offer much of either at the moment. So, yeah, look, first game. Hopefully, it gets better. I think there are a few games against. Let me just check. Oh, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
how do you think Ben White will cope up against Lukaku in his debut in Stamford Bridge?
you know what, Will? Let's just let that be a mystery. We'll save it for next week. All right? Because I'm getting a bit sad now. And I shouldn't be getting sad because it's the return of a very special segment on the show. The only other segment, rather the bullshit segment. It's Bandwagon Wheel. Yes, it's back for season 2. And if anyone wasn't listening last week, we decided on Greece based on watching the Europa League, Europa Conference League qualifier round where Bohemians played PAOK, which they unfortunately lost in the second leg.
That's a tough game.
So, you know what I mean? That was a tough piss to go. So we said, well, let's go there. Let's have a look at this Greek league. See what it's like. Let's spin the wheel.
Do you want to explain for any new listeners?
You know what? You explain, Will, and I'll get it set up here. I'll get the wheel set up because I got it all set up here.
No problem. So, Bandwagon Wheel is a segment where we pick we pick a league in Europe. We pick a league in Europe. We put teams onto a big wheel, we spin the wheel, and we become die-hard fans of that team for the season. Just to show the madness of being a football supporter, really. Like, I'm a die-hard United fan. I have no links to them whatsoever. So, just to show how easy it is to get on the bandwagon. Last season, we were die-hard Göztepe fans in Turkey. Followed Turkey at the Euros. Ended in utter disaster, never to be spoken of again after now. Oh,
yes.
Wheel.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. So this will go up on Instagram. Hopefully people can see this, and this is working. We got all the Greek teams here, all your favourites. I mean, it's very similar to Turkey last year. There's Olympiacos and Panathinaikos that you might know at home. I think Athens are a grand old club there, but not many other ones, you know. So I think if we get one of the other ones, we could be in a bit of trouble if we don't win the league. But no matter who it is, you know, we'll get on the bandwagon. So without further ado, Will, let's spin the wheel for season 2 of Bandwagon Wheel.
Here we go.
Oh, exciting. Oh, any preferences, Will, no?
Oh, one big teams would be good. Oh.
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 Oh. No. Oh. Oh, drama here at the bandwagon.
Who's it going to be?
A traumatist.
Atromitos.
We were so close to PAOK.
Oh, wow. That was almost. Wow. Atromitis. You know what? Next week we'll be back with the correct pronunciation. You know?
Yeah, we know all about them.
There you go, folks. Season 2 underway. We'll look up where they are in the league. We'll give you all their brief history, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anything else, Will? Or is there anything else you want to touch on? No?
No, that's pretty much it. It's good to have the actual football games back and not be scouring the internet for talking points. It's good. It's pretty easy when it's just you watch the thing and you talk about the thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to keep going with the one episode of the week for now, and then maybe when Champions League comes back, which shouldn't be too long away, we'll get back into the 2 a week for you. And you know what? We hope to see you there.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Godspeed.
We'll leave it there. So
that'll do.
That'll do. A strong sign off as always.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would Claudia say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?